All right, everybody, welcome to day 5 of Customer Service Week. We're here for your morning jolt. And I can tell you that we've been doing this all week long. Shep, it seems like I just met with you a few minutes ago.
I think you did. No, maybe you did. It all blends together, doesn't it? So this has been a wonderful week. Pace has had, who is our sponsor. We've got your group, my group, Pace all working together. But Pace every day this week has had their virtual conference, right?
And actually, today was the day that they're wrapping everything up. So there are no,
Oh, wow.
but you can actually go and register and get access to all of the previous day's activities for an entire year. So make sure that you do that. You can go to paceassociation.org and it'll get you over to their virtual site. But today we also are releasing a podcast episode with Phil Bennett from Empire today. And you can find information on that and get the replays for day 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this replay at customerserviceweekly.org. We've talked about a lot of different things this week, Shep.
Yeah, we talked about creating the story or the legend. We talked a little bit about training. We talked yesterday, fascinating, a topic that's very important to me. We talked about inclusion. And I know originally that's not the path we were going to take when we talked about what we're going to talk, but I really love that that's what came out.
Most definitely. I mean, we also showed a lot of things that people can actually take away from a continuous learning. We've shared a lot of experts, books, insights. And today, what we really want to focus in on is how do we take all of this information, this insight, all of these different perspectives, and really, we're appreciating the people who are delivering this frontline experience. But we need to do it all year. We need to appreciate our customers. We need to appreciate even our solution providers. I mean, we have some phenomenal solution providers in our industry that are doing an incredible job of enabling us.
You're one of them.
As well as you.
Well, thank you.
And so how do we carry this CX celebration all year long?
So, well, I think there's so many different ways we can do it. We talked about earlier in the week, training isn't something you did, it's something you do. You can have ongoing trainings throughout the year. And by the way, they can be weekly trainings. How long do they need to be? 3-4 minutes long. Do it in your weekly huddle. Some companies, hospitality companies, the Ritz-Carlton, they do a daily huddle every single day. They meet with the teams before they go to work. The manager spends a few minutes and they talk about one of the initiatives, or actually one of the gold standards that they have. There's 24. And if you're in St. Louis, Missouri, or where you are in Greensboro, I don't know if there's a Ritz in Greensboro, but if there's someone somewhere near Greensboro, there's a Ritz, I'm sure, or Abu Dhabi, okay? Everybody's talking about the same gold standard. So, I mean, it's very ritualized. But I would say that's one way to keep it going.
Well, and what you're talking about is creating a system and a framework. And so for me, I have a few letters that I like to focus in on. May I share?
Letters, like letters of the alphabet.
Right. But for me, I get stuck on one that's really, really important for me.
Yeah? I.
Yes. And I have 5 I's, although 2 or 3 of them are hidden. No. I have 5 I's, and as far as words are concerned, that I like to focus in on in order to help me focus.
Now I have 4.
There you go. And if I put on mine, we'd be over the limit. But so for me, my 5 I's are intention. What do you intend in regards to, appreciating and delivering, a CX celebration? What is the investment that you're making? And of course, there's ROI and there's everything that's associated with that. How are you inventing, new experiences, different processes, different products, by using.
And mention the PDF that you have available because on innovation.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. So we created, I've had the opportunity for the past 5 years to be podcasting on the Fast Leader Show, and we've had several authors that are experts in innovation, and we put together this ebook that there are 10 books that you absolutely, and there's actually more now, we're adding to this list, books on innovation that every contact center leader should be reading. And you can get the full list at cxglobalmedia.com/innovation ebook. And also, again, you go to customerserviceweekly.org and we'll have this replay and that link so that you can download it. So
that's the third I is innovation.
That's correct. And then we have inspection. So in other words, if I'm doing all of these other things, if I have this intention and I'm making this investment and I'm putting this in, the invention and the creative thinking in place, am I inspecting that? because then therefore people are going to say, oh, I see what's important, right? So all of those metrics that you have in place, what are they really inspecting? And the other thing is iterating. When you think about customer service, oftentimes what we find ourselves doing is fixing the exact same problem year after year, and we have to stop doing that. So we have to make sure that we're iterating the experience. You talked about customer journey mapping. We also have to understand customer emotion better, and we have to make changes. You know, and we don't want them to be forced changes because of COVID, right? We want them to be proactive changes that are enabling us to deliver an experience that's expected both internally and externally. So those are
All right. So intention.
Investment.
Number 2, investment.
So we have
innovation,
inspection,
iteration. Yep. Perfect. Wow. Well, I actually have one acronym, but it kind of is, I think this is a good point to make. I always talk about trying to be amazing. And amazing in my world is not over the top and blow me away. I think amazement, when you start to look at it, is the definition of just simply being a little better than average all of the time. It's that consistent and predictable, even slightly above average experience. And this is what you want customers to say. And then I'll get into my letters. You want customers to say, they're always so helpful. They always get back to me quickly. They always are so knowledgeable. They're always friendly. Even when there's a problem, I know they can always help. The word always followed by something positive. What you don't want to hear is a 4-letter word that starts with F, and that word is fine. How was your experience with us? It was fine. What does fine mean? Fine is not fine. Jim, you're married, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you are talking to your wife and you notice something seems a bit amiss, if you say, is everything okay? And she says, everything's fine. What does that mean, Jim?
It's not as fine as she's saying.
It's not as fine. It means you're in trouble, Jim. That's what it means. So this is what fine means. I've given a word for every, or a phrase for every one of the letters. F-I-N-E. F stands for fake smile. Everything's fine, Jim. You're talking to your customer. Were you happy? Everything's fine. Fine is not fine. It's a fake smile. I is insincere feedback, which is driving the fake smile. N is never coming back, and E is emotionless. In other words, smiling on the outside, but on the inside, nothing. You're dead to me. No, fine is not fine. And I'd like everybody to recognize that fine is average. It's mediocre. And if we can just bump it up a tiny bit and consistently and predictably always be there and never drop to being just fine, our customers and our employees are going to say about working with us and working for us together. They're going to say, these people are amazing. This company is amazing. Why? Because it's consistent, predictable, above average or above fine experience.
It's kind of interesting that you're saying that, talking about the perspectives, and we were referring to perspectives, previously when we were talking about inclusion, we were talking about perspectives a lot this week. And those are important. And for me, when you're talking about the fine, I'm starting thinking that, hey, the 5 eyes will help us see better so that we can become amazing.
Yes.
I think all of us need to have frameworks, structure, and inspiration to keep us going. It's not the same for everybody as far as what those are.
Yep. But we have to have a baseline to work from. And the 5 eyes are a great base. These words make you think of certain things. So what am I going to do to be more innovative? And with that one topic, why don't we sit down and have a meeting today to take the first eye, the second eye, the third eye, each week have a different meeting with a group of people and talk about how we're going to implement the eyes. And, by the way, you can't change everything overnight, but you can take 1 or 2 of these ideas and say, okay, this is a project. Who wants to take it on? Who's going to champion this? And let's set some deadlines. Let's set some milestone dates, and let's see what we can do. Same thing as taking care of a problem. When somebody says, I'll ask them, what's the biggest problem you have? The biggest complaint your customers give you? And they'll tell me. And how often does this happen? Oh, we hear it every day. Why? If you hear it every day, fix it. Okay, stop it. It sounds simpler than it probably is. But in the reality, if something's happening consistently that you don't want, fix it.
That's right. And here, I'll leave this. I think, for me, okay, this is our final day of Customer Service Week. We're going to help jolt this for the rest of the year. And hopefully we've done that through everything that we've shared with you this week. And then you can find your frameworks, you can find your continuous learning, you can find, your ability to include, and know this, that there are two areas where you can see the greatest impact to the customer experience. And yes, we all hear about getting executive buy-in. Yes, it's at the top of the organization.
Mhm.
But then also it's at the very front line with those people who are interacting with the customer every
Yep.
day. They have insights and innovations that we absolutely need to be leveraging so that this CX celebration does continue all year.
I'll vote for that.
So to get further insights and information, make sure that you continue to check out Shep and all that he is doing, because he's very active and sharing at Hyken.com.
Yep. Hyken.com.
Exactly right. And make sure you go to Customer Service Weekly. We have podcasts from senior level leaders, from big brands that are trying to differentiate, and there's a lot that you can learn from there. We also have the opportunity for you to continue to carry this torch every single week, because Shep, that's what we got to do.
Yep. It's important. It's not just a day, a week. It's the entire year. It's your entire life. Customers are the lifeblood of our company. Steve Blank, I believe he's a professor at Stanford University, had an unbelievably short and powerful quote: "Without customers, you don't have a business."
Everybody, have a great rest of the year, and we'll see you in 2021.